From Buffalo to the big leagues, this is MaDi Tells All. Hello, friends. Welcome to MaDi Tells All, where, of course, I am telling it all. It has been an insane week, guys. I kid you not. I've been home for just a few days, and I already have done so much today, so much yesterday, and then I'm leaving again. I'm going to Cabo. I'm going to Fresno first, and then taking a private plane, first time ever doing this, to Cabo. I am so beyond thrilled. I don't even know. I don't know if it was on my manifestation board to go on a private plane this year, but here we are. You know, I don't think it's a jet, so I think that's a little bit safer. I think it's a plane. And I kid you not, I'm texting my one girlfriend, Darlene, and she's like, oh yeah, come into Fresno and we'll just take my plane. I go, you have a plane? I hate you. Respectfully. Love the hustle and grind of what it takes for you to get there. But yeah, I'm having the perks and I'm going on one. I've never been to Cabo. Not going to lie, I'm pretty bad at geography. And I was like, where is Cabo? Is it an island? Is it in the Bahamas? Where is it? Apparently, it's in Mexico, the tip of Mexico. But I just know that we have an Airbnb. We have a chef coming to the house one night. And I'm so excited because by the time this comes out, I'll probably have a ton of B-roll of the whole entire thing. So that is going to be a lot better than the terrible loss we had. The Bills Mafia, we're hurting. We are hurting so bad that I went to NFL fan therapy. I'm just kidding. It's a comedy sketch. I've never done comedy, and all these guys that I'm doing it with, I was the only girl this time filming. We filmed for 3.5 hours. And it's so funny because, I think you guys all think that I'm some insane sports fan. I mean, I love the Buffalo Bills, but when it comes to football talk, don't know that much. Fake it till you make it, and I'm here for it. So, yeah, I've just been on the road because the Bills were in the playoffs, even though everyone said that we weren't going to do it. We were like, this is our year. We're going to the Super Bowl. It's the last year at the stadium. The Bills community just oh, my God. Between that, Sean McDermott getting fired, which really, really sucks because I've been knowing Jamie, his wife, for some time. She and Sean McDermott are huge faces of Punt, the charity I always talk about. And she's been at a bunch of galas, and I've been in suites where she's come there. And she's always been so supportive of my brand, always said the nicest things to me. And Sean McDermott is just he is one Buffalo all day. It's so crazy because now I'm getting all these DMs about petitions and trying to get him back. I don't think it works like that, but kudos, and the Bills Mafia would make that happen and get him back. But hopefully, maybe, he just comes back mid-season or something like that. Or we get this new head coach, and maybe he's not right. And he's like, I need to get Sean McDermott because I don't know how to handle these boys. So you are extremely missed, and it's not going to be the same without you. You took the Bills out of a 20-year drought. Okay, don't forget that 20-year drought and brought us to the playoffs 6 or 9 times. But that was just a rough game. I think the hottest take everyone is talking about is, was it a catch? Was it not a catch? And then you watch the Bears game the next day where it was clearly a catch and they called it a catch. But for us, it wasn't. It's are the refs being paid off? What's happening over here? But there's nothing we can do. There was some turnovers and there was some bad play calling at the end and some fouls. I don't know if it's called fouls, but flags on the play. So there was a lot that we obviously have to improve on as a team, and we can only hope to get better and better. It's been a blessing for the last few years that I've been so knee-deep in football stuff that we have been going to the playoffs because I can't imagine 20 years of not going to the playoffs and what my Sundays would look like. Honestly, probably more free, but not as fun. But this is what I do, right? I'm going to go through the classic of going through the Instagram account because that's how I find out where I was last and when the last time I talked on the Instagram or when I talked on the pod, which today we hit 10,000 subscribers, which is crazy because I'll say it and I always say it. I just had so many people doubt me. I had a lot of people very close to me doubt me, and they're like, good luck, YouTube, podcasts, dime a dozen. It takes people so long to get a following. And I read up that it takes a podcast an average of 1 year to gain 1,000 followers. And I did it in 4, but it's been a lot of hard work. And I can't stress enough, I'm so blessed to have a virtual assistant. He's a real human named Harvey, and I would not be able to do it without the help of that. So if you guys ever need advice on virtual assistants, do not just answer all those DMs you get on LinkedIn of like, let me be your virtual assistant. I don't know who those people are. I don't know if they speak English, and I'm able to have weekly conversations with this person and then also get customer service from an Australian-based business. That's like how they do it together. And he is doing so much stuff like editing a bunch of my clips, reaching out, doing rent. Like he's doing so much stuff. But I would not be able to run it without that. So, yeah, the Bills were in the playoffs. And let's see what I talked about last time. I don't know if I talked about going to Penn Six, where I went there and met up with the Bills Backers Bar of New York. And one of the girls, like, from there, she's like the CEO or something like that for this big marketing company. So it was really cool to go meet up with her because we ran into each other in Philadelphia. And then she's like, come to Penn Six. And I was like, I think the Bills were playing in Houston or something, and I didn't have to go. Or maybe in Boston. And I was like, oh, my God, thank goodness. It's like, if I get the text message that I don't have to travel for once, I'm like, please, because it's exhausting. Love it, but I wasn't ready. But went to Penn Six, had awesome oysters and wings. Like, name a place that you can get oysters and chicken wings at. Not every single time can you get something like that. And I brought my friend from Australia who's never watched a Bills game. We ended up winning that game. And it was so funny because the video went viral of her, not viral, but like 80,000 views. And she said she had people coming up to her being like, what's it like being a Bills fan? She had 3 people come up to her. And Emily is a friend that I met in Italy and became friends with just instantly. So that was just so fun to just see her reaction. Oh, are we getting up and dancing? And I'm like, yes, we're in it. But all in all, like, that was super good. And then I went back to Buffalo, New York for like 3 weeks, which was crazy. It was Thanksgiving, and then it was, what was it? It was Thanksgiving, and then it was Christmas. No, sorry, not Thanksgiving. Oh my God, my brain is mashed potatoes. It was the Christmas Eve game, which was on the 23rd. Then it was Christmas. Then it was New Year's. And then we had another home game. So sorry. It's like sometimes I'm just like, Madeline, you can slow down and just like get your thoughts in order. There's a lot going on. But so much fun. I got home. And I stayed at my brother's house. So I have an apartment over on like Richmond, and it's with my little sister. But my little sister had her boyfriend that she's not seen in so long because he's in the Air Force. And she kind of hinted me like, it'd be great to have the house to myself. I haven't seen him in like 4 months. And I was like, respectfully, I love hanging out with my brother and his wife, Michelle. We're going to have a fun time. So I stayed there, and it was so much fun. I don't know. It was just like, they're my age. So we just like all get along and we're all on the same track to just doing stuff. But like, we were just doing self-care stuff. My brother loves cooking, and he's always like, look at what I made. Look at what I made. Come in the kitchen. I'm like literally like in his Snuggie, just like hanging out on the couch. I'm like, I don't want to get up. And he's like, yeah, I'm a good husband. I'm like, yes, you are. But we cooked so much breakfast. We had so much fun. And I think the Bills maybe won that game. I don't know anymore. I mean, who knows? All I know is that I was like trying to go to the grocery to go get some cucumbers because it's my MO to just go get cucumbers and bring them into the games. My brother lives right by the Price Right on Elmwood. Should have known that Price Right was not going to have anything I needed at all. The cucumbers were little weenies, and they were wrinkled. They were wrinkled weenies, and it was so funny. My aunt's like, cut the bottom of them, put them in water. I'm like, you think I got time to do that before I got to go to a football game that's freezing? Oh, my God, I forgot. That game was pouring rain outside the whole entire time. Not during setup at the tailgate, but during the tailgate. Torrential downpour the whole entire time. It was, all in all, it was still great. I had this jacket that's called, is it Air Dry? Let's see what it is called. All Dry, AULLDRR. That shit is meant for scuba divers. When they're done scuba diving, they put it on to stay warm. It's like made out of like recycled plastic or something like that, but I had those on, and some of our employees at game day have it on, which is so nice because it's easy to find them. But that saved my life, along with my Blazy Susan hat, so that my face can feel good. I don't wear too much makeup, so it's not like I'm going to be melting when it's raining, but like, a girl's mascara be running. And that tailgate was absolutely point of a Bills fan. Oh, that's the game that we lost. I think we lost in the in the pouring rain, but it didn't matter because we were going to the playoffs anyways. So, you know what I mean? Like, we were being good. But then it was Christmas and it was so chill. We went over to my parents' house. And it was just a few of us. It was my grandpa. I had my nanny over there. And Reagan and Daniel, my niece and nephew, which I just freaking love so much. But it was so funny because baby Daniel was coming on to being sick and we didn't know. And he kept being so overstimulated by people, which isn't like him. He usually like loves people. And he kept being like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And we're like, what? Like, what's going on with this kid? He just like wanted to get away from everyone. So, I'm hoping that's just like a little phase because everyone in our family is like pretty outgoing. And I'm like, Daniel, you can't be like the shy lion here. But my mom growing up was so painfully shy that they held her back a year to stay with her younger sister, my aunt, Libby, so that they'd be in class together. Because my mom would like hide in the closet and not come out. And she said she didn't become outgoing until she had kids. And I'm like, that's crazy because you would never know that from my mom at all. She's not shy by any means, but I definitely get my definitely outgoing, like salesy side 1,000% from my father. He's a pharmaceutical drug rep. He owned his own business. My mom owns her own business too. Well, now she's retired, but her own daycare. She had a facility, everything like that. But my dad can literally talk to a brick wall, and so can his daughter. But Christmas was awesome. I got a vibration plate, which I really wanted. And I'm like, I loved it before it went TikTok viral. My mom acquired one because my grandma was like, hey, someone in her apartment complex like was throwing it out. And my mom got it. And I love just going on it and putting my legs on it and stretching on it. It feels incredible. So I have that hooked up in the apartment. And now I've been doing like 10-minute just like morning workouts to just like get my body going because I'm like, Madeline, you definitely have 10 minutes and I feel like you're just shaking it all out of you. I'm someone who's had so many stomach issues, but not no more, but it is crazy. If I'm going to be open and honest, like it is crazy sometimes. I like won't go to the bathroom for 5 days and it doesn't even faze me. I don't get bloated. I don't get swollen. Doesn't even feel any different. My stomach might be like rock hard, but not because of abs, but the vibration plate is hopefully going to get the motion of the ocean going because I kid you not, how much stuff. And I don't like to drink coffee that much because I realize even when I'm filming, when I don't drink coffee, the glow I have is so much better. I feel like I have no wrinkles. I have this glow to me and I don't even have self-tanner on today and I feel pretty good. But that's because, she blew out her hair a little bit. But yeah, so then stayed home for a few days, did some brand work, of course, because that's when I do in Buffalo. I try to get back to like all my clients and do stuff. But my friend Melinda and I, we went out to Toronto. Oh my goodness. We had so much freaking fun. I kid you not, like, where does it begin? I don't know. Before I was heading back on my trip, I was just like, hey, do you want to do something different? Like, I'm going to be back in Buffalo. I've done New Year's a million times in New York. Don't get me wrong. It's like so much fun, but it's like there's so much going on. It's like overstimulating. So I was like, let's just go to Toronto. And she was like, yeah, I'm down. Melinda's just one of those girls. She grew up in Buffalo. But she lived in LA for 8 years, a successful model, dancer, commercials, acting, everything. And she's just so mature, and she's a business owner, which I've hired their talent so many times, underground, below. they're incredible. A ton of them have, they lived in LA for some time, and a bunch of them, like during COVID, all moved back to Buffalo. That's what she did. But they all come out of this one dance studio that's from Orchard Park, maybe called, is it Surge? It might be that. But a ton of them become professional dancers and like world renowned, and they worked with incredible people. The one girl, she was in a music video with Ed Sheeran. And I remember that was like big thing, like Orchard Park girls seen in Ed Sheeran's music video. But long story short, Melinda's just a boss. And when I go out with her, her style's impeccable. Her class is impeccable. She isn't like this huge drinker like I am. Like me and her, we can drink. But like we can drink and you just will never know if we're even buzzed. And we got wined and dined in Toronto, like accidentally, but like always, manifestation. So her and I, just the whole time that we were going up there, we're like, we hope we just meet amazing people. We get taken care of. Like, we pretty much went there with no plans. I texted one of my clients from Toronto, Chef Adam, and I've done some work with him. Me and Lainey have gone to Toronto and did some rebranding and some photo shoots with a few of his restaurants out there. So I texted him, which reminds me, I gotta post a video today of that. And I was like, hey, do you have any new restaurants that are opening up or anything that you want me to go get content? And he's like, yeah, we have this awesome fine dining Mexican restaurant. But he didn't say fine dining at first. He just said Mexican restaurant. I was like, respectfully, the night before New Year's, I don't know if I just like want burritos, but I should have known better. He's like literally insane, has been nominated for being a Michelin star restaurant and stuff like that. And then he texted me back and he was like, this is the Instagram. Then I go on the Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, shame on me. Of course, it's so sexy. The oysters, the presentation, the tasting menus. Like that's what he's known for, the tasting menus. And I would say he's known for these little it's like dehydrated rice flour with charcoal or squid ink. And he makes like these edible like leaves and garnishes like on each one of his dishes. And it almost tastes like a shortbread. And of course, that's like some of the dishes, but we get into our Airbnb. We called it the IKEA Airbnb. Like you jump on that couch and you're like, huh! It's a little hard, but simple, clean. We love it. Go to Airbnb. And it was like in the middle of everything. It was a few blocks away from King Street. If you know, King Street's like the place to go out in. So we get in. We got ready so fast in like 30 minutes because I was like, Melinda, we got to get out of here. There's a snowstorm coming, and I don't know if we're going to make it. If she did not, she was babysitting her nephew. If she did not get out that hour early, I don't think we would have made it. Buffalo got hit with, of course, a huge snowstorm. Not huge, like 2 feet, but like very fast and aggressive on New Year's Day. I feel so freaking bad for these restaurants because once again, they got screwed on Thanksgiving Eve. It was an insane snowstorm. And then, what do you know? They get screwed again, and that goes down. And they get a huge snowstorm. And my brother said Alan was dead. I know 500 Pro was, like, busy. They had a huge event. But that just, like, hurt. I was just like, damn, that absolutely sucks. But we got out to Toronto. Toronto was busy. And we had a 10-course dinner. Oh, my God. It was so good. Let me get the name of the restaurant so that you guys can go and follow it. Let me see Chef Adam on Instagram. I call him Chef Adam, but he doesn't even have his Instagram as that. Okay, his Instagram is Adam Eat World. And the name of the restaurant, oh, my God, I'm going to butcher it. Ali Brigi Toronto. ALEBRIJE. El Brigi. But absolutely incredible. We did a 10-course dinner tasting, and oh my, was it so good. The fish flew in from, not Scotland, Nova Scotia, I don't know, Newfoundland maybe? Smoked, cured, salted salmon. The friggin' tahini was melt in your mouth. It was so good with the homemade chips and the brisket with the you like dip the taco in the sauce. I don't know the fancy words. The margaritas were so good. It was so good that Jessica Bryan and Chef Darian saw my Instagram post and were like, yo, how was your dinner? I was like, of course, incredible. They're like, we're driving up to Toronto. We're going to go there. And it's so fun because through me, they also connected with Chef Adam. And so anytime they go to Toronto, they'll go to some of his events and meet. And I just love that because they're so inspired by him. He's inspired by Chef Darian. So anytime I can connect people, like I'm always here. Chef Adam really would love to open up a place in New York. And I'm like, you let me know. I will help you all day. So then we go there. And then before that, a few days ago, some random person DM'd me because they found me. They found my podcast. They found the podcast with me and Chef Darian. For whatever reason, it must have been like marketed more in Toronto. And he started following me. And for like a week, we were just like, yeah, Bill's Mafia, talking this stuff. And he's like, if you ever come to Toronto. And so I messaged him. I was like, I'm actually on my way to Toronto. He's like, oh my God, my friend owns a hospitality group. Like, you should come to the bar tonight. It's going to be so busy. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. And so we're at dinner. And then he was like, do you want me to call you an Uber? I'm like, maybe I'm embarrassed to say, I don't know if a man has ever called me an Uber. And so then we Uber there, and it was just so awesome. We walk in, and it is just like full-blown, beautiful place. People are all eating dinner, having a super good time. And then it's like getting into like craziness. We had dirty martinis. Oh, the glasses were hand blown from Italy. The entrance to the bathroom was like a $600,000 entrance. Espresso martinis, like you name it, we had it. And me and Melinda were like dancing on top of this little like stage ledge. We like stole the show. She connected with them. She's like, we need to get my talent out there, which I got to remind her if she went and talked to them, because that needs to happen. Because they had these like dancers, but they were nothing like underground girls. And I'm like, she can hire like Toronto talent and train them. But another story, we went there. Then we went to like the Weekends Underground Club, ran into one of my girlfriends, Hannah, which was so funny. She used to do some work for me. It's always funny when you're traveling and you like run into Buffalo people. I mean, we're everywhere. And then the next day, we also stayed, and me and Melinda worked, believe it or not. We worked at a coffee shop like all New Year's. We just had so much to do. Like, obviously, football doesn't sleep. There was like sporting events going on there. So I was doing a bunch of content for game day. And then we were at the coffee shop, and I was like, I would love if those boys texted us and were just like, hey, we're doing dinner tonight. Do you want to come? What do you know? 10 minutes later, get a message from Ralph. He's like, I can't make dinner tonight, but my best friends, who are incredible, are out to eat. You should go join them. And I was like, say less. And so we went to this really high-end pub, and we got black miso, like cod, and then what else did we have? Steak. Everything was so good. And the best part is these men were just like, they were like 50, and they were just so amazing. They all were huge Bills fans. No one was weird. No one was creepy. No one was like, give me your number, like, it be my sugar daddy, because like that happens, 50-year-olds who are offering you out to dinner, once or twice. You're going out to nightclubs. You know what I mean? We know what they're doing. But these guys were just Canadian. Why are Canadians the nicest people ever? So then we had so much fun hanging out with them. And then me and her, we hung out with them until the night. And then they were like, we own this bakery, neglecting to tell us that they have this bakery that's like a known bakery in Toronto. And let me get the name of that one. I'm going to have to, man, you know what? If you're listening to this, like, just let me know and I will find it for you. But it's going to take me too long to do it on here. Unless it's probably on my story or something. But absolutely incredible. We went there, and there was this hot gray hair, Mr. Gray situation, like 50-year-old baker who totally looked like my ex-boyfriend. Oh my God, just like tattoos, gray beard, gray suave hair, and he was just like, okay, I like have been so good and like have not talked to the ex in so long. But me and him never even like, it never ended on bad terms. He was like my little secret boyfriend. He was really cool with not wanting to like be on socials too much. He didn't care about socials too much, and kind of just like let me live my life. And it's way more marketable as a single girl on there. And I don't know. It was a good time, but they looked so much alike. that I literally took a picture of him and a picture of Brett and put it next to each other. And I was just like, okay, yep. I'm like, no matter what, anytime I see like an attractive gray-haired man, I'm always going to think of you. I don't know what I said, but it was just funny. And he was just laughing, and we just talked for like maybe 2 messages back and forth, and that was all. He definitely, I don't think wants to talk to me, but I don't know. There was just like no bad blood with that relationship. It was just, we did long distance for like 5 years. And it was just like, we're 10 years apart, and I'd say I'm like too outgoing and maybe like a little too fun. And he has just like done so much work in the experiential world and talking, and he would MC these events that I think he's just like shot from making new friends, unless it's in a very intimate settings. And I want to make new friends when I'm in the elevator, when I'm in the coffee shop. Like, I'm a person who's like, give me all the friends. I maybe when I'm 42 or something like that, I might be a little bit more standoffish, but not right now. So, didn't work out. But long story short, we had breakfast with the bakers. They neglected to tell me that this bakery is like a great following on socials. They're like, everyone knows that bakery. They do collaborations with all the biggest brands there. So it was just so fun to just hang out with like entrepreneurs doing their thing. And I grabbed so much stuff from that bakery because they wined and dined Melinda and I. Melinda and I both spent like $100 leaving. They also gave us things of bread, things of focaccia, and then I got imported sardines, olive oils, like everything, and homemade pasta, and texted my brother, and I was like, hey, what are you doing tonight? I'd love to make you guys dinner because they've been housing me. I'm a homeless child. So then I made such a good dinner, and my girlfriend, Alexa, came over. She's incredible. She was on the podcast. She's a casting director for The Bachelor, Squid Games, what else? A bunch of these reality TV shows and a bunch of these other shows that like come up. She's always casting, and she's from Buffalo, and she's in New York a good amount, sometimes in LA. But anytime in Buffalo, I either try to go to a workout class with her or go hang out with her because me and her are just such yappers. Okay? I don't know how to explain any other way than I love talking. You would think that my voice would get so exhausted, but before I came on here, I was drinking like Smooth Move tea because it just like helps the throat. So she came over, and I made homemade sauce. Well, the sauce I got from the bakery. So I got the sauce from there. The noodles were homemade from the bakery. She brought over some sausage. Poor girl. I'm over here like, oh my God, come over for dinner. She's like, yeah. And then I totally forgot she's been gluten-free for like 3 months. Talk about crazy what gluten will do to a woman's body. I'm like, can I say this out loud? Yeah, I'm going to, Alexa. But she went into early stage menopause. The girl's like younger than me. I think she's like 29 or 30. But it did something where it was like sending her into early menopause. And she had no clue what was going on. So she took out dairy and she took out gluten and like lower sugar intake. And it ended up being that it was the gluten that was causing her to do that. And now she's like, I feel 10 times better. My reports and labs came back. Like, I am good to go. So she can't have any gluten. I was like, girl, you got to get to Italy. So she already was invited over. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to pivot from here. But I made sure the sauce was gluten-free. Then she brought her own spaghetti squash so that she could just like do that. And then my brother's friend brought gluten-free crackers and bread, but gluten-free bread always isn't slapping. But in New York City, the bakeries around here, they know what's up. And I brought sardines, and that sardine company, it's called Just Cans. This girl that's like an influencer in Canada, awesome branding. She does awesome food videos, but she came out with her own sardine line, and it's called Just Cans. And they're incredible. And I've never really just ate sardines besides in like a Caesar salad. They're freaking delicious. And they were in olive oil, rosemary, and pepper, I think. Black pepper. So good. And we had all the cheeses. And we just had a good old family meal. And then I got this olive oil from them that was like a spicy olive oil. I didn't know that it was going to be spicy, but it wasn't too bad, like of spice level. So cooked everyone dinner, and we hung out and we chatted forever. And it was so funny because Alexa has worked with so many incredible people from Bravo. and gone to all like the talk shows and stuff. And Michelle, my brother's wife, is a huge Andy Cohen fan and like anything Vanderpumps, anything. So she was getting all the tea. But it was so funny because I didn't tell Michelle who Alexa was until like later on when she was like confused that like Alexa was saying like some of the things that she's been to and done, and then them too. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. Like you guys can talk it up. I'll start cleaning the kitchen. But went there, and then the Bills had another home game. They won that game, and it was the last game of the stadium. R.I.P. the Ralph, or whatever you call it. But that was something else. That was absolutely incredible to walk in there. Who's calling me? I can't answer that right now. I'm on the podcast. But it was absolutely incredible to just walk in there, and it was like going to a funeral. Like, I kid you not, I could not believe how much I cried when during halftime they did this whole entire like memorabilia and just the memories and interviewing the players and just like some of the best plays there. Because like you're not just thinking about what's happened in the last few years as I've become like a really big Bills fan. It's the memories that like my parents made. My parents were crying in front of me, and then I just, like, you just have the coaches crying. They're filming some of the players, like, on the field live, and they're crying. And then you're just, like, the years with the 90s and the Super Bowl, and Jim Kelly's talking, and I don't know if Andre Reed was too, but memories on memories, to say the least. And it was just, like, everything was just, like, I couldn't help myself. I was sitting with my cousin Kelly, and it was my brother, Michelle, my parents, and my aunt and uncle, like the OGs who always go to the games together. I love my cousin Kelly Rose so much. Me and her just went to Florida, but I'll get into that. And all I can think about in my head is that I've recorded so much in the past few weeks that I really hope I didn't record an episode like this, because I'm like, what day is it anymore? Like, I'm pretty sure I just interviewed a ton of guests the last few weeks. I don't think I have any solo episodes, so I think I'm in the clear, but who knows? If not, you guys just get to listen to another rant of me, talking about my insane life. But then we won that game, and I think I went to Mother's after. Yeah, I went to Mother's after with Michelle and Daniel, and I got a dirty martini with blue cheese stuffed olives. When I say I'm not a huge drinker, it's just because, like, if I'm going to drink, I want to have a delicious drink. I want to sip on it. I want to guzzle it, and I just want to be so satisfied. And I was. Something about a dirty martini with blue cheese stuffed olives. And when they're stuffing on the blue cheese is like over indulgent on it, and you can see that it was hand stuffed by fingers, because sometimes there's even like a fingerprint. Who knows if they're wearing gloves? I don't really care. I'm not looking into it. And you bite into it, and then you get a chunk of the crumbly blue, like nothing like it. Give me all the olives. Nothing makes me more angry when they say blue cheese stuffed olives, and it's just like the fake ones that already come pre-batch. You got to make them from homemade. And in Toronto, they usually don't have the blue cheese. They'll do it with feta. Still delicious. But then we had that, and then I stayed in Buffalo for a few more days. I saw my nieces and nephews. And then I forgot like what the other stuff was and why I stayed longer, because I stayed way longer than expected. But there was like no crazy rush, because New York City is like so dead during this time of year, and there was no syndicate events going on. So I was like, okay, this will be good. Because then it was like, oh, I had to get back, because we didn't know, I don't think, where we were going to go play. But I drove, in 24 hours, I was in Buffalo and then headed to New York City, unpacked my bags, did laundry, cooked myself, me and Lainey, a pasta dinner at like midnight, and then had to be at the airport at like 8 a.m. to then fly to Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, no complaints. We do love Florida. And the weather was beautiful. Oh my God, it was so gorgeous. It was, when I got in, I kept trying to find a pool, and everyone was just pointing me in all the wrong directions, and I couldn't get a pool. But it's okay, because the next day, I had myself a time on the beach. My cousin Kelly Rose and I ran 5 miles I'm not much of a runner, but I gave it my all, and she kicked my ass on that beach the whole entire time. She was wearing a Bills hat. We got Go Bills so many times. And then we went and what did we do? Oh, we did sprints along the way. And then we got her car. We moved it because we had to. And then I was like, dude, I'm not done walking and I'm not done getting the sun. It started getting a little bit chilly, but I was like, let's walk the beach again. We went and had a beer at Land Shark. Poor Kelly, this kid was so drunk, and he was like a little trailer park trashy kind of drunk guy. Kept yapping her ear off. And I'm like, oh my God, give this girl a freaking break. But that was just super funny. And then we had to get ready for our welcome party, which we did it at this place called Keen's Tavern. Shout out to Tim Wallen, because he was the one who connected us and was just like, hey, like, this girl, I've known her from Buffalo events, blah, 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 but like they'd love to turn their bar into like a Bills Mafia bar all weekend, like, and it's right by the stadium. Oh my God, such a success. That bar said they hit record numbers compared to their opening day. They hit better numbers for the Bills Mafia weekend than they did their opening day. And they've been open for like less than a year. And we took over that town. We had a live band. We had tequila tastings. We had local distilleries. And like, what we've been doing is like these welcome parties where you are just paying $15 or $10, wherever it might be, and you're getting a drink with it. And usually there's live music or a DJ, but you're guaranteed that you can get in, because I don't know if you've been to any Bills games or Bills weekends, but going to these Bills backers bars, it is insane. This kind of keeps the capacity at a cut so everyone can make sure they're getting drinks and everything. Everyone can be happy. And we had all the TVs going on because the Sabres were playing, which the Sabres are crushing it. I think they won 11 in a row, and then they lost one, and then they're back to like a 3-day winning streak or whatever. So that's super cool. But then we had the game, and we won. We had an amazing opportunity, and we got to be in a suite with the Allens. They are absolutely incredible. We've been working with them for over 3 years, doing some of their private tailgate parties. It started off in LA, against maybe the Rams, then it was Chargers, then it was Rams again. Like each year we were going back there. We weren't back there this year, but they come to our tailgates in Buffalo. They come to our tailgates on the road. And at the end of the day, they're just farmers with the most amazing personalities. And we've gone into their suite now like once or twice. And they're like, come in, we'd love to have you guys. And there was like 20 of us in there. And that game was intense. It was back and forth the whole entire time. And the way that we won was a turnover at the end to just lock it in. And then a tush push, which I found out the Bills wanted to make the tush push illegal. Okay? And we did not make it. Good thing we didn't make it illegal, because it was the tush push of a century. And then we locked down and totally won the game. So that was incredible. Everyone was crying, laughing, screaming. And apparently Josh knew where the suite was, and it was like him. There's a picture of him trying to find the suite. I don't even think any of us were looking on the field. We're like popping champagne, having a good time. Everyone's crying, laughter. And so that took us to the next round, where in 5 days, we had to plan a whole entire event in Denver. Okay, usually we'd get it, the game would be that next Sunday. Well, they decided that the Denver Broncos had a whole week off. They had a whole bye week. And then we have to go to Denver, where the altitude's the most, they call it the mile high. Okay, I only know the mile high for one reason. It's a lot more fun than that. But I mean, Denver was fun. But go to Denver, and we play on a Saturday game at 4:25, but in Denver it was like 2:25. So we had to find a venue, liquor license, catering, DJ, welcome party, staffing, all in 5 days. And we don't do like a crazy amount of events in Denver, but like we have a hub there. But we needed our own space because we knew so many Bills fans were going to come, and that space couldn't fit because there's Denver fans there, and we didn't want to mix the two. So we go there, and I was able to get a DJ because my friend Trey, Lazy Susan, lives there. And I was like, hey, I need a DJ. He's like, I got you. So got that DJ. I tried so hard to find staffing for the welcome party. It was near impossible. And then literally the night before I was leaving, before I looked to Lainey as I'm closing my door, saying goodnight. I'm like, by chance, do you have any friends in Denver? And she was like, actually, I do. And she's an absolute babe. Her name's Diana, and she's so fun, and she's beautiful. And I text her, and she's free both days to work for us, literally to just like do wristbands and like make sure everyone's happy. Shout out to just like to Lainey coming in, Diana. That was like incredible. You were so amazing. So we got that. The venue John got, and they have their liquor license, and they work with a caterer. So like the food was incredible. It was like I ate barbecue so much this year. We had barbecue in Jacksonville too. Shout out to Phantom Catering who did Jacksonville. But the venue was a wedding venue, and it was across the street from the stadium. And like, I'm just saying, how are we supposed to go from that experience of being at a wedding venue with 24 draft beers, full service call bar, awesome drinks, awesome catering, DJ, all heated, outdoor patio with cornhole, with fire pits, with nice furniture, freaking staircase like Rapunzel let down your hair, VIP seating, private bar, the bathroom's immaculate with like marble flooring, to then going to like a tailgate, in a parking lot. Like, it's going to be rough. Like, I'm like, but next year the Bills are in Denver again, so we're going to be back there. So that's cool. And we plan on even taking more, but we had like over 400 people come. It was just, I don't know, the vibes were so high. And then that brings me to the Bills the Bills lost. That game was back and forth the whole entire time. We were looking a little sloppy, and then we came back from like a 20-point, like Denver had 20 points above us. And then we came back, and then it was boom, 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 boom. And then it went into overtime. And this catch that would have made us so close to having a touchdown or a field goal, anything, a field goal, we would have won the game. But the refs didn't call back the play. They didn't look it over, and they just said it wasn't a catch. And like, it's still trending all over social media that it was that was a catch, because then they do the Bears one, and they were like, yep, that was a catch. But that was rough. I had to go in a car with a bunch of boys that seemed like they were going to cry. And I'm just trying to be the good spirits over there. We got John from game day. We got Cody, who I introduced him and John, and now they're best friends. And now I'm just, there. And then we had Casey Cott, he's incredible. He's an actor from that show Riverdale. He randomly, I don't know what it was, but we met via social media that I found out he was like a Bills fan, and either I DM'd him or he DM'd me, and we were like, yeah, like come by the tailgate. And then he came to our Kansas City one. Eric Wood was like our special guest. And it was funny because a few people came up to me. They're like, is that that guy from Riverdale? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, he's like a huge Bills fan. He's like the most humble human being in the whole entire world. He has like 4 million followers and is just like, never once ever mentions that he's like an actor or like tries to pull some steam. Like, and it was so funny because he lived in Nashville for a while, which is where like Josh's sister lived, and she worked at this gym. And for the longest time, McKenna never said anything about her being Josh's brother, or sister, which I absolutely love about her because she's so humble. And for 6 months, Casey's at this gym. He said he's worn some like Bill stuff and everything like that. And like McKenna just never said boo about it, which I just love. She never is like trying to flex who her brother is. And then he like found out like way later, but now it's so funny because we've all been together. They were at our tailgate. He was at our tailgate, but Casey and I are trying to get everyone in high spirits. I'm like, how's everyone doing? And then we had to do a steak dinner with Josh's uncle after Uncle Todd and some of the other family members. But this freaking steakhouse that we went to in Denver, that's like, now they have one in Charlotte and Houston or something. I'll have to get the name of that. It's like Garden Smoke, maybe that. Oh my goodness. They have sushi on their menu. They got ribeye. They got smoked black miso cod. They had Wagyu dumplings. They had a $300 like age-crusted Wagyu steak. Like they had oysters, like you name it. We ate it at that party. We had a back room. There was like a bunch of us. We had Abigail with us, her boyfriend. We had the owners of Wingnuts there. Who else did we have there? Sorry if I missed you, but all in all, Trey, Blazy. We had so much fun. The dirty martinis hit They hit so hard. I even had a sip of espresso martini, and we were just all so exhausted. We went to bed, and then I had to get back to New York, which I'm back here now, and I've only been home for 2 days. Yesterday, I stayed at home and did my quote-unquote lazy girl work, which is I was in a robe all day and did not shower until like 4 o'clock, and I just sat on the couch with who knows what was in the background, maybe Dawson Creek, Fallout. I think it's called Fallout, that video game that's an HBO show now or Amazon Prime. And I just did all my sales reporting and just like my outreach stuff for Super Bowl. I just all via my computer edited content and just did that kind of stuff. So I didn't have to leave the house. But then I had to get all ready because I had to go film with NFL Fan Therapy for 3.5 hours in Times Square area, which I'm back here again today. It's a little bit of a commute for me to get here. Well, I probably need to move to Manhattan. And that was a situation where we had so much fun. NFL Fan Therapy is just hysterical. I think when people click on it, they like really think it's therapy, but it's just all these comedians that are all wearing their favorite NFL team. A lot of them are from those hometowns but live in New York City, but they're like stand-up comedians. And we just yap and do funny stuff. And I literally was taking out recycling that day. And then I was like, oh, this is an empty bottle of wine. I should just bring this in as part of my skit. And so in the beginning of the skit, I had my head down. I got the Bills visor on, and I just like am acting like I'm just drinking. And I'm like, thank God you allow us to drink in here. And the skit was just so funny. I talked about the urinals and how they're selling them, or the troughs. I don't know. I'm not a guy, but like I'll call them large urinals. Everything that they're selling at the Ralph is insane. I mean, they're selling literally everything. People were stealing things. I mean, my sister's boyfriend's brother brought in a screwdriver and took his whole entire seat. And he has videos of him walking out with it. No one's even bothering him. And they were like, we're going to have extra security. There's going to be cameras everywhere. Was there? I don't know. People were stealing their cup holders. I technically own a piece of the stadium. I put stickers up. I didn't even put the stickers up. Everyone else put the stickers up. Lainey put 5,000 up and put them on the back of our seats in the 300. And so I took it off, and part of the paint came with it. So technically, I have a piece of the stadium. So let me know if you want to purchase it, because it's my BFS stickers and they're pretty expensive. So yeah, where was I? NFL Fan Therapy. We filmed there, for 3.5 hours. And then I went grocery shopping because my poor Lainey, I can just tell that there's been some things going on and she's a little stressed. And I heard her cry a little bit the other day. So I went to the store and I got her flowers and I got a bunch of different groceries. And I'm like, this is for you. Eat whatever you want. I'm like, I won't even be here because I have this like Storytime app. So I'm going to be around here and there's so much free food on this app. So I'm probably just going to grab dinner before I head home right from there. And then, what's it called? Yeah, we're working on the brain cells here. Oh, but then I have to be back here all day tomorrow. I have meetings here. I'm filming with some like sports. I don't know what it's going to be called, but I'm going to get it like interviewed in the street style about sports, and they're probably going to talk about my Bills, so I should probably wear some Bills clothes. I thought I was putting that in retirement, but she's back. And then I'm going out to dinner with my friend Brian, and then Thursday I don't have to come to the city. Thursday is going to be at home, work, hang out with Kitty Cat, and just work on the laptop because I'm going to Cabo. I think I talked about that earlier. So I won't repeat that, but stay tuned for that content because it's going to be spicy. I'm such a beach girl. It's ridiculous. You just wake up and like, we talked about it before. It's just like, I love taking spicy photos for myself. It makes me feel good. Keeps me liable to just like work out and be healthy. But also it's because I've always been in relationships. I'm a relationship girl. I'm a chronic. I just kind of date. That's just kind of what I like to do. And, you know, when you're in a relationship for as long as I was in, for 7 years and 5 years, you got to keep the boys happy and you got to keep it spicy. So I was always, you know, sexting away to my man. And now I don't have that. And I'm like, well, that's rough. So stay tuned for the hot content, you know? That's all. Cheers. Go Bills. From small town roots to the big city hustle, remember your past doesn't define you. Your passion does. If something hits home today, share it, tag me, even write in. Be a part of this community. This isn't just my mic, it's ours. Check the episode description below for all the links. Until next time, keep building your empire your way.